Every time I ride this bike, I look back, and it used to be 10 years and 12 years, and I lose track of it. But it's been over 13 years I've had this bike. It has just been a real treasure to ride. It has never broken down or given me any real heartache other than the starter motor that I think was just defective right from the factory. And here I am, and we had some fun today chasing this Ferrari. See this guy in front of me? I was chasing him down Route 80 and chasing, and finally he realized the superior power of the Crossplane. Now, so welcome to Windy Videos, where we chase Ferraris, but sometimes we don't catch them, sometimes we do. And sometimes we go out on a ride and it turns out to be a nice day. Someday it gets too hot or too cold or it rains. But we do try to get out on the open road virtually every day. Well, as if there was something to report other than it's going to be hot today and we want to get out of here early. It's like Groundhog Day this whole summer. But we do want to get out of here early. We got our normal chores to do. Move the motorcycles around, get them prepped and pre-flighted, and out on the open road. Now, pretty much this whole summer I've been getting up as early as, well, before the chickens anyway, and trying to get a day organized with Karen, because we always have things to do around the farm, and she's always doing some cooking and whatnot, and there's always things to do with our grandson. But getting the bike prepped up in the morning, having an extra cup of coffee, I really do like having a clean bike. No matter where I'm riding, and I'm riding alone today with most of the days, I just like having it. And the most important thing, having that radar detector at all costs. That is what makes the rides possible. Without that, I'm not so sure it will be this much fun. But having some nice clean wheels, and that paint is holding up great many years now. I know some people don't really like the styling of this generation of R1, but I really like it. And I love those big scoops in the nose. And the polished exhaust, boy, talk about a labor of love if there ever was one. And when I did the restoration on this, there's several carbon fiber parts I made from scratch, including the muffler covers, including the nose pieces that replace the headlights. And it's just, there's no other way to describe this. It is truly a labor of love to do this. And we recently had this episode with the fish, the pond losing water, and we had a real trauma here. We've gotten almost all the water put back in the pond now. Little by little, the fish are getting back to being the fish that they know. They take the food right out of my hand. And it did take some time. Those fish have a good memory. And, of course, Karen always has something for me to do in the garden before it's time to go, and she sets up to do her cooking. Okay, while I'm out riding, you're going to be doing something with tomatoes here. Surprise me.
Roasted tomato sauce.
And 13 years of owning this as a one owner, the original owner, and having it right from the very beginning, I have that very personal relationship with the bike. I have a lot of trust in it. It's never really given me a hard time on anything except that one thing, the starter motor. Now, it's a little early in the season for the leaves to be falling, but hey, Mother Nature takes over, and there's not much you can do about it. There are leaves in the trees in some of the back roads. And what makes this an exciting proposition, this is the last model they made that has no traction control. And when I painted the wheels on the bike, I wasn't sure if I was going to be super happy with the silver. I had contemplated other colors, and in the end, when I got done with this and put it together for the first time and brought it out in the sunlight, I just really was happy that I went with this color silver, and it really sparkles in the sun. And it took me quite a while from when I got the bike originally and it had clip-ons and other various things, a passenger seat, to make the parts I needed to make and to make the adjustments to get the handlebars on and reroute all the cables and get it so it became my bike. And the suspension on this bike can be set for various soft, medium, hard, just like all the modern sport bikes. And it took me a while to get it just exactly to where I wanted it, to ride these back roads. I think after 13 years, I probably got it. Now, one thing I really like about the bike too is the unique cross-plane sound. I've had my own exhaust system, the one I made on, for 5 or 6 years, and I went back to the quiet one when we were not able to continue riding in Harriman Park the way we used to, and this one is just fine. And as this summer's coming to an end, one of the things I'm committed to over the winter time, and I hope it works out, is getting a quick shifter for this bike. I know several companies that make them. They're not plug and play, so I'll have to do a little shopping around. But the MT-09 has totally spoiled me. I just love having a quick shifter, and boy, would it be fun to have on this bike. Now we're coming up very soon on the first 1,000 miles on the Pirelli Angels, and I'm looking forward so much to seeing how these are going to wear based on how they're going to be against the Michelin 2s and the 3s that I've had on a bike, and they were fine but wore out quickly. And one thing everybody that's ever ridden a Crossplane notices right away, especially these R1s, the early R1s, they just have a beautiful power band and beautiful grunt and groan low end torque. So nice to have that. And the way I have the bike set up now, set up for my personal riding style, it's just a joy. You don't get a sore back, you don't get a shoulder or wrist pump from laying down with clip-ons, and you get to enjoy every minute of the ride, no matter how long it is. And for me, it's so nice to be stealth when you're going through these areas where there's houses on both sides of the road, or where they're prone to have radar and they have that ability to hear you coming a mile away. So nice to be stealth. And when I bought this bike new in '09, I never had any idea how it was going to fit into my life. It's fit into it in every way possible. And here it is 13 years later, and we have had so much fun with this bike. And 34,000 miles, all good. And once again, I have to thank Jose, who talked me into getting this Valentine radar detector, and Vince and all the other people that were using it successfully. And it took me a while to figure out how important it was. For me, it has paid for itself many, many times over. And pretty soon we're going to be entering that part of the year where the leaves are going to be changing, the scenery is going to be yellow and orange and red. There'll be leaves on the ground. It's coming up very soon. We've had a really hot summer. It's been wonderful riding virtually every day. Now I hope I have my own taste in styling and what I think looks nice and what looks sporty, and the look of this bike without the headlights with those custom covers that I made, to me it looks like, to be honest, it looks like an alien. And it's always amazing to me how quick time goes by when you're enjoying a nice ride on a motorcycle. And the time just, it melts by, and you turn around and look at the watch or your clock on a bike, and all of a sudden time has passed and it's almost time to go home. Now for me, I have very well-defined windows of riding, and I can't really push them any further than I've already pushed them without losing some of the rest of the quality of my life, not maintaining the farm or not spending time with my grandson or Karen. So as I headed back and got on Route 80, along comes a Ferrari. He pulls up to me. I didn't have the camera on. I never do on Route 80. And we, to be honest, we had fun for about 15 miles back and forth. And then I said, you know, maybe I could turn the camera on. And it's really difficult to do that for me while we're on Route 80 at highway speed. But I did manage to get a minute or so of a beautiful Ferrari. And the guy was real nice, of course, and looked like he knew how to ride. And I put that footage in the beginning of the video. Enjoy it. Well, we took advantage of a really, really nice day. It was cloudy, but the sun came out, and who cares either way. Even if it rains at this temperature, we're already coming up on 90. At this temperature, I don't even care if it rains. Maybe it would even be fun if it rained. Nice and cool. Anyway, I hope you did enjoy sharing this little part of our life with the R1. And I always think every day you wake up in the morning and you know you're going to get to ride that day then becomes something special to me. It's a whole lot better than when you don't get to ride. And in our part of the world, you don't get to ride every day because there's weather issues and snow and obviously other things. So while I was out riding the R1 and taking care of the farm, look at what the bride made. Oh my God. Could it be better? And Karen has spent the better part of this summer making some really great meals, healthy stuff. We've been eating a lot from the garden. Maybe we've been trying to eat a lot of vegetables, and maybe we were even overdoing it, I don't know. But anyway, it does seem to be working, and I do seem to be feeling good about it. And all of the bikes in my collection, I try to get them ridden on a regular basis. And I never neglect the time I have to spend with Miles or with Karen. But in the end, it's all a personal choice, and some people just have a lot more time than other people. Some people have a lot more energy. But in the end, we all love these motorcycles. So if you enjoyed the video, I hope you share it with your friends. And of course, I hope, most of all, that we'll see you tomorrow. And thanks again for watching.